Tonight, Troy falls. When the moon is highest, we strike.
Welcome to Fairy Tales English Journey. Today we will travel back in time to ancient Greece. We will uncover the legendary story of the Trojan Horse. This tale shows how clever thinking and a wooden horse ended a war that lasted 10 long years. Are you ready to learn and explore with us today? Long ago, there was a beautiful city called Troy. High walls made of strong stone protected this grand city. The people of Troy felt safe behind their mighty walls. They believed no army could ever break through their defenses. The city was rich and full of life under the bright and warm Mediterranean sun. The trouble began across the sea in the lands of Greece. A Trojan prince named Paris visited a Greek king named Menelaus. Paris fell in love with Helen. She was the wife of the king and the most beautiful woman in the world. Paris took Helen away to Troy and made the king very angry. King Menelaus called upon his brother Agamemnon to help him get Helen back. Agamemnon was a powerful king who commanded many armies. Together they gathered a massive fleet of ships. Thousands of brave Greek soldiers prepared for a long journey across the sea. They wanted to punish Troy and bring the beautiful queen home. The Greek ships sailed across the blue water and reached the shores of Troy. The soldiers set up a large camp on the sandy beach. They wore shiny bronze armor and carried sharp spears. The people of Troy closed their heavy gates and prepared to defend their home. The great and terrible war finally began. For 10 long years, the two sides fought fiercely outside the city walls. Many brave heroes fell in battle on the dusty plains. The Greeks tried everything to break into the city. The Trojans fought hard to keep the invaders away. Neither side could win the war, and the soldiers grew very tired and sad. Among the Greek leaders was a clever king named Odysseus. He was known for his brilliant mind and tricky ideas. Odysseus knew they could never break the strong stone walls by force. He sat inside his tent and thought deeply about a new plan. He realized they needed to use deception to win the war. One morning, Odysseus gathered the other Greek leaders and shared his secret plan. He told them to build a giant wooden horse. The horse would be large enough to hold a group of soldiers inside its belly. The rest of the Greek army would pretend to sail away and leave the horse behind as a gift. The Greek leaders loved the clever idea and ordered their best builders to start working. The men cut down tall pine trees from the nearby mountains. They used sharp tools to shape the wood and build the giant horse. It was a magnificent and towering structure that looked like a real and beautiful animal. A hidden door was built into the side of the wooden horse. This secret trapdoor allowed the soldiers to climb inside the dark belly. The builders worked quietly so the Trojans would not hear them. Every piece of wood was placed with great care to make sure the horse was strong and completely hollow. When the giant horse was finished, Odysseus chose the bravest soldiers to join him inside. They climbed a tall ladder and squeezed into the dark wooden belly. The men had to stay very quiet and completely still. They brought their weapons and waited in the shadows while the rest of the plan was put into action. The remaining Greek soldiers packed up their camp on the sandy beach. They burned their tents and loaded their supplies onto the wooden ships. The men rowed their boats away from the shore and sailed out of sight. They hid behind a nearby island and waited for the perfect moment to return to the city. The next morning, the sun rose over the quiet and empty beach. The Trojan guards looked out from the high stone walls and saw no enemy soldiers. They only saw the ashes of the burned camp and the giant wooden horse standing alone. The people of Troy were amazed and confused by this strange sight. The gates of Troy opened, and the curious citizens rushed out to the beach. They walked around the giant wooden horse and touched its carved legs. Some people thought it was a beautiful gift for the gods. Others felt afraid and thought it was a dangerous trick. The king of Troy arrived to see the horse. A Greek soldier named Sinon was left behind on the beach on purpose. The Trojans found him hiding in the tall grass and brought him to their king. Sinon cried and told a false story to the Trojan leaders. He said the Greeks had given up and sailed away because they were tired of fighting. Sinon claimed the wooden horse was an offering to the goddess Athena. He said the Greeks built it so large that the Trojans could never bring it inside their city. He promised that if the horse stayed outside, the city would fall. If they brought it inside, Troy would be safe forever and always protected. A wise Trojan priest named Laocoon warned his people not to trust the Greek soldier. He threw his heavy spear at the wooden belly of the horse. The wood made a hollow, echoing sound that should have been a warning. Laocoon told the king that the Greeks were always tricky and full of dark secrets. Suddenly, two giant sea serpents rose from the foaming ocean waves. The terrifying monsters slithered onto the sandy beach and attacked the wise priest. The people of Troy watched in horror as the serpents dragged Laocoon into the dark water. The Trojans believed the gods were angry at the priest for striking the wooden horse. The king of Troy decided to believe the false story told by Sinon. He ordered his people to bring the giant wooden horse inside the city walls. The horse was too big to fit through the main gates. The Trojans had to tear down a part of their strong stone wall to bring the horse inside. The citizens of Troy tied thick ropes around the legs of the giant horse. They placed round wooden logs under its heavy hooves. Hundreds of men and women pulled the ropes with all their strength. They dragged the massive wooden statue through the broken wall and into the center of their beautiful and ancient city. The people of Troy believed the long and terrible war was finally over. They decorated the city streets with bright flowers and colorful banners. Musicians played joyful songs on wooden flutes and stringed instruments. The citizens danced and feasted until the sun went down. They celebrated their great victory and felt very happy and safe. Night fell over the city of Troy, and the tired citizens went to sleep. The streets grew quiet and dark under the sparkling stars. The giant wooden horse stood silently in the main square. Inside the dark belly, Odysseus and his brave men waited patiently. They listened to the quiet sounds of the sleeping city. When everyone was asleep, the Greek soldier Sinon crept through the dark streets. He walked to the center of the city and approached the giant wooden horse. Sinon tapped gently on the wooden leg to signal that the time was right. He then lit a bright fire on the beach to guide the returning ships. Inside the wooden horse, Odysseus heard the quiet tapping sound. He carefully opened the secret trapdoor in the belly of the beast. The brave Greek soldiers climbed down a long rope and stepped onto the silent city streets. They drew their sharp swords and prepared to take control of the sleeping and defenseless city. The hidden Greek soldiers moved quickly and quietly through the dark alleys. They surprised the sleepy Trojan guards and defeated them without making a sound. The soldiers ran to the main gates of the city and opened them wide. They waited for the rest of the Greek army to arrive from the nearby hidden island. Out on the dark ocean, the Greek ships saw the bright fire on the beach. The sailors rowed their boats back to the shores of Troy as fast as they could. Thousands of armed soldiers jumped off the ships and ran toward the open city gates. The trap was perfectly set and the plan worked. The massive Greek army poured into the city streets like a rushing river. The sleeping citizens of Troy woke up to the sounds of shouting and clashing swords. They realized they had been tricked by the clever Greeks. The strong stone walls could no longer protect them because the enemy was already inside their home. Fierce fighting broke out in every corner of the ancient city. The Trojan soldiers tried to defend their families and their homes, but they were not ready. The Greeks were too many and too strong. The beautiful buildings of Troy caught fire and bright orange flames reached high into the dark and smoky night sky. The king of Troy fought bravely to save his beloved city, but it was too late. The Greek soldiers rushed into the royal palace and defeated the royal guards. The great and powerful city of Troy was completely destroyed in a single night. The 10-year war finally ended because of a clever wooden trick. King Menelaus searched through the burning city to find his wife. He finally found Helen and took her back to his waiting ship. The Greek soldiers gathered the remaining treasures of Troy and carried them to the beach. They loaded their heavy wooden ships with gold and silver and prepared to sail back to Greece. As the sun rose the next morning, the city of Troy was nothing but smoke and ashes. The mighty stone walls were broken and the beautiful houses were gone. The giant wooden horse stood among the ruins as a symbol of deception. The Greek army celebrated their final victory on the sandy shore of the sea. The Greek ships sailed away from the ruined city and began their long journey home. The soldiers felt happy to finally return to their families after 10 long years. They shared stories about the clever king Odysseus and his brilliant plan. The tale of the giant wooden horse would be remembered forever in their history. The story of the Trojan horse teaches us a very important lesson about life. It shows that strength and power are not always the best ways to solve a problem. Sometimes, a clever mind and a smart idea are more powerful than 1,000 strong soldiers. Intelligence can overcome the greatest and most difficult challenges. The Trojans lost their beautiful city because they were too proud and too careless. They believed the war was over just because the enemy seemed to run away. They ignored the warnings of the wise priest and brought danger right into their own home. We must always be careful and think deeply about our choices. The wooden horse also reminds us that things are not always what they seem to be. A beautiful gift might hide a terrible secret inside. We should always look closely at the situations we face and ask important questions. Being aware of our surroundings can protect us from falling into a dangerous and hidden trap. In the English language, we still use the phrase Trojan horse today. We use it to describe a trick that looks harmless but brings danger inside. Computer programs that hide viruses are often called Trojan horses. This ancient story gave us a special term that we still use to talk about hidden dangers and clever tricks. The clever king Odysseus teaches us to never give up when we face a hard problem. When the strong stone walls blocked his path, he used his imagination to find a new way. He changed his strategy and used his brain instead of his sword. We can also use creativity to solve our biggest daily problems. Deception played a major role in the fall of the great city. The false story told by Sinon made the Trojans believe a dangerous lie. This shows how words can be used as powerful weapons to trick people. It is very important to seek the truth and not believe everything we hear from strangers. The ancient story of Troy has been told for thousands of years by many different people. Poets and singers shared this exciting tale around warm campfires and in grand palaces. The story traveled across oceans and mountains to reach us today. It is a wonderful piece of human history that connects us to the distant past. Learning English through these classic stories makes the journey fun and exciting. You get to learn new words while traveling to ancient lands and meeting brave heroes. The rich vocabulary helps you express your thoughts and ideas much better. Every new story is a stepping stone to becoming a great English speaker and a wise learner. Let us review some of the useful words we used in our story today. The word deception means hiding the truth or tricking someone. The word hollow means having an empty space inside. The word magnificent means very beautiful and impressive. You can practice using these new words with your friends and your loving family members. Another great word from our tale is strategy, which means a careful plan. The word defend means to protect someone or something from harm. Try writing these words in a notebook and creating your own wonderful sentences. Practicing every single day will make your English skills grow stronger and faster than you can ever imagine. We hope you enjoyed our journey to the ancient city of Troy. The story of the giant wooden horse is filled with excitement and valuable life lessons. It reminds us to be smart and careful in everything we do. Thank you for joining us on this amazing adventure through the magical pages of history and time. If you liked this exciting story, please remember to like this video. You can also subscribe to Fairy Tales English Journey for more wonderful tales. We have many more amazing stories waiting to be shared with you. Learning English is always a magical adventure when we explore classic tales and beautiful legends together on this channel. Do you think you would have brought the wooden horse inside the city walls? Leave a comment below and tell us what you would do. We love reading your thoughts and practicing English with you in the comments section. Your wonderful ideas make our learning community very special and incredibly fun for every single eager student. Next time, we will bring you another fantastic story from the world of fairy tales. We will meet new characters and learn even more interesting English words. Keep practicing your reading and listening skills every day. The more you practice, the easier it becomes to understand and speak this beautiful and very useful global language. Sharing these classic stories with your friends is a great way to learn together. You can retell the story of the Trojan horse using your own simple words. Teaching someone else is the best way to remember what you have learned today. We are so proud of your progress and your dedication to learning new things. Always remember that a clever mind is your greatest tool in life. Just like the smart king Odysseus, you can overcome any challenge with careful thought and planning. Use your imagination to find creative solutions to your daily problems. You have the power to achieve great things if you believe in yourself and your bright mind. Thank you once again for being part of the Fairy Tales English Journey family. We are so happy to help you learn and grow every single day. Keep smiling and keep exploring the wonderful world of stories and language. We wish you a beautiful day filled with joy and lots of magical learning adventures ahead. Goodbye for now, our dear friends and wonderful language learners. Stay curious and never stop asking questions about the world around you. We will see you very soon in our next exciting video filled with magic and history. Until then, take care of yourselves and keep the wonderful magic of classic stories alive in your hearts.